And we kind of try to look like these guys. Freaks, right? I think we all agree. Freaks? Yes? Herschel Walker, never lifted weights. Bo Jackson, he's my neighbor, really is. He lives across the street from me. He lives in the gated community. I live on the outside of the gate. Sometimes I see him. He had the hiccups for a year. They had to do surgery and take off his diaphragm from not having hiccups. I get pissed after like 30 seconds of the hiccups. Can you imagine a whole year? There's a really good book out about him, about this folk hero, and what he actually did and what he actually didn't do. He actually did all that stuff. He said, yeah, I did that. Nice guy. Does a lot for the community. He has one son. Anyone know what his one son did? Imagine you're the football coach. You know Bo Jackson lives in your district. You know he's got an 8th grade son coming in. What are you thinking? We're going to be 50-0 in the next 4 years. I'm just going to put him at running back. His son played the tuba in the marching band. We kind of get into hypertrophy. Kids want to get bigger. They want to armor up. I don't know. It's mostly diet. Eating is the most anabolic thing that you can do. And it gets to a point where it can be too much. Whether you've changed the structure of the limb, the muscle has grown so much that it's going to change where the tendon and ligament lay. And then when you contract, it's got to either contract through the muscle or not contract all the way. You can slow down all of your angular velocities because the muscle is too large. You do not have the strength to pull it through. Or even more so, you don't have the torso strength to support your torso when that big giant leg comes through. I think when you see really elite sprinters, everyone thinks they look huge on TV and they look great. They are not large men at all. Little tiny wrists. 0% body fat. That's why they look great. They got 3% body fat. Come on, older guys, who remembers the day of Muscle Mag and all those things, and that's what you wanted to look like because you thought that was me. You can change your entire co-contraction and contraction of your limb. This is one Cal and I have been talking about, the impact on bone density and mass on a limb. Sometimes our bones don't work so well. And then we talk quite a bit about this, especially with, well, I have O2 guys here. You may not have the mitochondrial support to support muscles that big. Right? Really comes down to mitochondria. What can you measure? This is what science is measuring. This is the science of speed. There's about 3 labs in the world that work on this. Ken Clark and with Peter Wander is one here in the United States. There's a couple people in Europe, and there's one guy in Japan. That's where the really good stuff comes from. The guy in Japan has it made. Man, has he got stuff going on there. Ryo Nagahara is his name. I might get to go there in the fall. That'd be awesome. Here's what they measure to see how you go. Projection. How fast can you get to your first step? Excuse me. They did a really cool research where they took guys ranging from 10.3 to a 10.9. Ran 100 different numbers on them. This is the number one factor between the difference between someone who is 10.3 and 10.9. How fast can you project out? DRF, I talked about already, is how long can you keep your momentum horizontally? How long can you press this way? Eventually, you've got to stand up. What's cool about this number is you can take all the DRF numbers from all the sprinters in the world. Who do you think has the best DRF in the history of measuring this? Usain Bolt. He is still pushing forward at 70 meters. Everyone else is bailing out about 55. A really good high school sprinter is bailing about 40 to 45 meters. Someone who doesn't know how to run, they're up vertically in their third step. That's what it looks like. You should be at 75% of your speed by your fourth step. That's just kind of an out there thing. And here's these next two things. They don't miss. It's what it comes down to. It's how much, what's your power max or your watts per kilogram. That never misses. It is not off in any race that's ever been recorded. The faster you are, the higher that number is. So if we do basic math and all of a sudden I wanted to gain 20 pounds because I want to armor up and look good when I come off the bus, and I don't get exponentially stronger in a horizontal fashion, what happens to that number? It goes down. It's a really hard number to change. Same with force per kilogram. That really is this projection. It's a number that shows your projection. Again, if I get huge, that number's going to go down. So some freak like Bo Jackson who can generate all that power truly is a freak, that he can get out that fast. I think when he played, he was 222, 223 at Auburn in his early days. Then he got a little bigger. And this number down here is how long can I press, the percentage of time that I'm pressing forward. I have a 1080 sprint. Do you guys know what the 1080 sprint is? It measures all kinds of things. As the first person in the United States to have one. So I have thousands of pulls on that thing. And it never lies. That's what it comes down to. I've had fast guys, slow guys, guys that can lift a lot of weight but can't run very fast. These numbers never lie. Freak guys, NFL 4.3 guys, 10 100 meter guys. So all this stuff, I'm not sure if it's that measurable anymore. Vertical jump, I've got guys that jump 40 inches. They're not my fastest runners because they're really good at pressing vertically. They haven't learned to come this way yet. I've got guys that can bound really far. This is kind of a weird year. I had my kid who was state champion of the 400 meter dash, ran 47. Not bad, right? After him, the next group was Chris Brown, who used to hold the world record in the indoor 400 meter dash. He's a 43 plus guy, 43.8. Pretty good, right? Better than the 47 guy. Who won in the bound contest?
47.
The 47 guy. But wait a minute. If everyone says bounding is all that, Chris Brown is 4 seconds faster. That means as Chris Brown's coming across the finish line, Dan's back at about the 40-yard line. Made no sense, right? You're on the ground to him. We have all these different models that went through. When I started as a track coach, I bought all the books, I bought all the videos, I had to make myself a track coach. It all starts with Ralph Mann. I came out with a book with mechanics of sprinting and hurdling. It's a good book. You should own that if you're into sprinting. And we had his really cool robot pictures to kind of show where the body position would be. So we're going to build drills to try to get there based on this two-dimensional look. So we went to mock drills. Today we call them A skips, B skips, C skips, right? Even the crazy D one where you're going here and then doing some kind of hip rotation thing and you're coming out that way. We all know that one, right? That's when you're at the track and you're like going, how long did it take them to do that in unison? That's like 3 weeks of work right there so they could all warm up doing the same thing. Why did Gerald Mach invent these? Who is Gerald Mach? Polish sprint coach for the Olympics. During Cold War days. How do you make a better living in communism behind the Iron Curtain? You win. You get better meal ticket. You actually get to wear a medal. So you get better food and you get better stuff. So in Poland, how many indoor tracks do they have in Poland during the Cold War? 0. 0, that'd be 0. So he has to come up with something that looks like running, so when they go outside, he doesn't lose his medal, so he gets better food. So he came up with the mock drills, because he can do that in a hallway in whatever building they're at. So we know A skips, B skips, all that other stuff. It's great from the side. If you're just watching, it kind of mimics it. And then we got Clyde Hart, just run people into the ground, recruit 25 of the fastest guys, and hopefully 4 of them make it through, and you'll win some stuff. When America sucked at track and field, we were really good at swimming, so track coaches grabbed the model from swimming coaches, which is to build volume and then taper, and we use that as our model to build sprinters in the United States. That's where it comes from. But in swimming, you don't hit the ground. At least I hope you don't. That'd be bad. They call that drowning. So, Lauren Seagrave, great coach at LSU. High school coach Kevin O'Donnell, I went to their clinics. I bought all these. I have the original VHS. I don't have a VHS player anymore. But they give us drills, 9 volumes, so you can buy all 9 at $25 each, but for a special clinic price, we'll give you all 8 for $100. I'm in on that when I got all 8. I'll learn them all. But it's not sprinting. It looks great. Throw in Charlie Francis with intensive and extensive tempos. Remember, college coaches have an AD that tell them that they have to practice 5 days a week or 6 days a week. So you better do that, or else, because we work 40 hours a week, 5 days a week, that's the American work model. You got to show up at work every day, so we got to have stuff to do on those off days. I train, well, this year, there were weeks where I only trained 1 day a week. So people ask, well, what does your AD say? I don't know, we're winning a lot of stuff. And I told them, am I a babysitter or am I a track coach? Am I here to provide a good social-emotional learning environment where we can all be really nice and kill time for 90 minutes, or do we want to win a state championship? It was how long as the state championships. I said, all right, then let me do my thing. You gotta let kids rest.